Hi, I'm Tracy Harbin, Director of the Grindle Honors Institute at Seminole State College of Florida. I will be reading from The Words We Keep, chapters 5, 6, and 7. Chapter 5, page 28. After class, my head's still woozy from my freakout, but duty calls. I chug an energy drink until my heart's doing the cha-cha. Sam and the rest of the track team are already 4 minutes into our 20-minute warm-up run by the time I drag my butt out to the field. "Tardy, 20 minutes after warm-up," Coach Johnson bellows as I run to catch up with Sam. "So," she says, "are we going to talk about it or just blow past it?" "Blow past what?" "You sprinting out of class?" "Oh, that." "Yeah, that. It's nothing." Sam stops dead on the track, hand on her hip. "No, you don't get to act like that. Not with me. Basically, the be-all and end-all of best friendom, just like all the Sams before me." "All the Sams before you?" Sam shushes me with her hand in the air. "Please, save all your mockery until the end of my soliloquy." I gesture for her to continue. "As I was saying, we take a look at the finest heroes of all time. Frodo, Captain America, John Snowden. What do they have in common? Capes and an unhealthy affinity for hair gel?" "Incorrect," she says. "We are running after Coach threatens more push-ups. Sam, John Snowden, has Sam Tardley, lovable nerd. Frodo has Sam, loyal hobbit of the Shire. Even Captain America has a trusted Sam sidekick. But every time you shut me out, you are robbing me of my birthright, my heritage by name. Must you always be so extra? Must you always be so secretive?" Sam waits for an explanation, but I don't have one. The heat from the rubber track radiates onto my legs. My body drags, but I push through. Breathe in, breathe out. Just move forward, one foot in front of the other. "Is it about Alice?" she whispers as a trio of girls run alongside us. I wait for them to pass before I whisper back. "That boy from the art class, the one with the socks. He was at Fairview with her. He almost said it in front of class, in front of everyone. So you ran?" "Yeah." Unspoken. "And also there was the whole heart racing, lungs collapsing, head spinning thing." "Even if he told Lil, it's not like you went to Fairview." Unspoken, not yet. We round the corner where Coach is writing each of our names on a whiteboard with a number. "Lily Larkin, 1.7 seconds. That's how much I need to cut off my time of my 400 meter if I want to have a shot at state in 2 months. "What's the big deal if he's your partner for one project?" "The big deal? The big deal is that I exist in 2 very different worlds. The one where I win races and get straight A's, and the one where my brain is breaking and my sister is in rehab because hers already broke. 2 Lilies, and never the twain shall meet. At least not if I want to keep at least one Lily sane. Getting all chummy with Micah definitely qualifies as worlds colliding." For a second, I almost tell Sam everything. Tell her how I've been losing control since Alice left, how I stayed up until the sun comes up most nights, locked in an ever-tightening spiral of what-ifs, about the list in the back of my planner and how I slip out of myself sometimes, become a spectator in my own life. Across the parking lot, Mike is pedaling away on a bright orange bike, ignoring Damien and the posse of jerks taunting him. Certifiable. That's what Damien called him. That's what people think about kids who go to treatment centers or make lists about why they're going insane. And that's exactly why I can't tell anyone, not even my best friend. "I think I'm just stressed," I say. Sam rolls her eyes and mock waves to me. "Hello, it's junior year. It's supposed to be stressful. I've been up till 1 every night this month practicing for my solo." She holds up her bandaged finger while we run. "Right? It's just a lot sometimes." An unexpected lump lodges in my throat. Take the right classes, get the right grades so you can take better classes, cram your schedule full so by the time you actually get to college, you're ahead of your classmates, already winning a competition you didn't even know you entered. Sam stops running and grabs me by the shoulders. Listen to me. It sucks a fat one. We know this, but we're going to get through it. Get into college, party like hell senior year, and then bust out of this joint. If we're lucky, I say. Did you know the acceptance rate at UC Berkeley was only 17% last year? She throws her head back in exasperation. Lily Larkin, do not make me take away your Google. No, seriously, what if I don't get in? Dad wants me to follow in his golden bear footsteps so badly, and everybody will think I'm a total failure, and you'll end up living under the overpass and eating soggy Cheetos from the trash can to survive. Sam bumps my shoulder with her fist. You're gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine. We're almost there. Just hold on a little longer. We run the rest of the path out to the end of the school property where the track intersects the Pacific Coast Highway sidewalk. The ocean stretches out in front of us. We're just about to turn right, follow the regular loop back to school when Sam grabs my arm. I know what you need. She looks down at the beach and back at me, eyebrows lifted in invitation. Coach already thinks I'm slacking. He's not wrong. I've stopped doing my practice runs. I've tried taking a different path, but the memories of Alice always find me, and my body and brain go berserk, and I turn back before I even break a sweat. If I didn't need a win at state to polish off my college apps in the fall, I'd probably stop running altogether. But I've worked too hard to quit now, and the team's counting on me, and Dad's counting on me to get into Berkeley, and I'm not about to let everyone down. Coach will live, Sam says, smiling as she runs down the steep stairs scaling the cliff. She yells back at me, what you need is a detour. I glance at the school behind us where Coach is berating some terrified freshmen, and I follow her down the stairs, taking them two at a time until I land on the soft beach. And then we're off, sprinting towards the water's edge. We run along the space where sea meets shore, dodging the waves as they surge towards us. Our footsteps fall like secrets in the sand. My lungs fill with salty air as I breathe deeply. My mind feels clearer out here, running free. No finish line. The beach is ours except for the shape of a person way out on Dead Man's Cliff, a glowing silhouette in the slanted sun. Sam's black hair shines too, with the sun streaming across her face, the uneven sand beneath our feet. I let myself believe her. You're going to be okay. Wet sand clings to our shoes as we run back up the stairs, leaving the freedom of the wide open beach. Totally what I needed. Exactly, because I'm Sam, best friend extraordinaire. She puffs out her chest and puts her fist against her hip like a superhero. And you can be my sidekick, anxiety girl. I laugh and point my fist towards the sky, acting stronger than I feel, jumping to the worst possible conclusions in a single bound. Shall we get matching capes? Definitely. Back at the track, Sam takes off with the long-distance runners while I pay my push-up penance. After, I take my spot on the starting blocks with the sprinters. 1.7 seconds. That's all I need. Pick up the pace, Larkin, Coach yells when I'm halfway around the 400-meter track. Second place is first loser. I dig my heels into the spongy rubber blacktop, my quads propelling my body forward. Sam's right. We're almost there. Hang on a little longer. I train my eyes on the finish line. Just keep running. Logo Lily's word of the day. Coternerous, a noun. The act of running towards a goal that keeps moving, ever so slightly, out of your grasp, as if you're a hamster on a wheel to nowhere, believing that if you can just go a little more, a little farther, you'll win. This is from the Latin cursus, which means running, and internus, which means eternal. Chapter 6. Pack the lunches, write a poem. Extra credit for bio. Laundry. My mind ticks through my to-do list as I spread mayo on bread for tomorrow's lunches for Dad, Margot, and me. Stacy, yes, that's right, with an I, and only an I. Don't get me started. loiters around the kitchen nervously while I work. I can help, she says. If I didn't have a down-to-the-second system already in place, I'd probably let her pitch in. Alice and I had a fine-tuned method for running this place before Stacy and Dad got married last year, and I'm still doing just fine as a one-man band. Nothing screws up the rhythm more than someone else getting into the act, especially Dad's brand spanking new wife. Thanks, I've got it. I'm just standing here. She reaches out to put the apple slices into the baggies. I slide them over to me. Seriously, Stacy, I don't need help. I slap the top of each sandwich into place. We've managed just fine without a mom for 10 years, and we're not in the market for a replacement. She leans against the countertop with a heavy sigh. Everyone needs help sometimes, Lily. She watches me put the apples and lemon juice into the baggies. The tense silence makes my heart speed up, which is the last thing I need after my epic freakout today. Fortunately, Dad strides into the room, armed with an over-the-top smile and Scrabble. Hashtag family game night? He jiggles the box, sending the tiles clinking against each other. Do we need to have the hashtag talk again, I say. What? He holds up his hands innocently. I totally used it right. If you're older than 50, you did not use it right. He chuckles and slings his arm around my shoulder, pulling me tight against him. Even though I'm gaining on his 6-foot height, my head still fits perfectly in the space between his chest and shoulder. Always has. When I was little, pretending to be asleep so he'd carry me to bed, I believed this pocket of space was mine. A little piece of Dad carved out just for me. Well, hashtag my bad, he says. Groan. Dad, seriously, it physically pains me. His chest shakes as he laughs. All right, I get it. Your old man is not cool, but I might just be smart enough to kick your butt. He shakes the box again, trying to ply me with my favorite game. Dad's a self-proclaimed logophile, aka lover of words, just like me. How about it? On the floor, my backpack bulges at the zipper. My stomach squeezes. It's gonna be another late night. Geometry chapter tests, Spanish oral on camping trips, because learning how to say, let's pitch the tent in Espanol is gonna come in handy one day. And now this poetry project with a partner who doesn't give one flip. After today's episode, all I want to do is sleep. But if I'm going to outrun whatever is wrong with my brain, I can't stop. I keep my freak out and the list in the back of my planner to myself. Dad has enough to worry about. Come on, 30 minutes. We got pizza. He drawls out the word like a used car salesman selling me a lemon, which is actually the perfect metaphor for Larkin family time lately. Maybe it's because this family feels hauntingly incomplete without Alice. Or maybe it's because Dad and I have spent most of our together time these last 2 months desperately tiptoeing around the things we don't say. We talk about school, about the weather, about oddly specific German words, but never about the night she left. Our family is already stretched thin at the edges, trying to pretend everything's okay. If we pick at particular thread, we might unravel. Sometimes I think the silence is the only thing holding the family together. But Dad's shaking the Scrabble box so eagerly, I can't let him down. I look at my backpack again, mentally cramming 30 minutes into tonight's homework schedule. Carbs and wordplay? How could I say no? I say, zipping up the lunch bags and ignoring the knot in my stomach. Pizza's here, Stacy shouts up the stairs to Margot. I'm more than a little shocked that she's letting us eat what she calls quote-unquote gluten-stuffed cholesterol pies. Ever since the night of the bathroom floor, Stacy, with only an eye, and Dad have been on an all-natural kick. Something about chemicals and well-being and how we could all do with a little less toxicity. All I know is our pantry went from Lucky Charms to various iterations of granola mixed with hemp hearts and flaxseed. Stacy carries in the pizza and starts dishing it up on the island for me. Pepperoni or Hawaiian? Hawaiian. Dad groans from the pantry. He's a staunch supporter of the coalition against fruit on pizza. I really do have a lot of homework, I reply. No, by all means, he says. Have your fruit and marinara sauce. Who am I to stand in the way of bad taste? Stacy slides a triangular piece of paper-thin, dark brown crust and a drizzle of what maybe sort of resembles cheese on my plate. What's that? I say. Pizza. I respectfully disagree. She holds up the label from the box. It's all natural, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, joy-free. Dad laughs, but puts his arm around Stacy's shoulder, tugging her head against him, into my spot. I look away, trying to ignore the ache in my chest. It's not the usual palpitation-induced tightening. It's more like a dull ache right behind my rib, an ephemeral thud of sadness. Margot trounces down the stairs in a full-on, honest-to-goodness black robe, complete with a maroon and gold emblem on the chest, the latest in her Harry Potter obsession. She found Mom's old books in the basement after Alice left for Fairview and almost immediately began sorting everyone into their Hogwarts house against their will. Any letters from Hogwarts today, I say? I know I shouldn't tease her, but come on, she's a 10-year-old wearing a cape. She sticks her tongue out me. For the 100th time, I do not think I am an actual wizard. Your attire begs to differ. I take a bite of the undigestible pizza. Just saying that you're really blurring the lines between reality and fantasy here. Dad bops Margot on the head with the Scrabble box. Enough Potterverse, let's play. Stacy arranges Dad's tiles on the coffee table. They're always on the same team. Margot and I share Dad's uber-competitive DNA, so after a few rounds, I'm lost in the game and in my family, and today's drama fades away. My stomach feels almost normal as I sit here, focusing on 7 little tiles as if they're the most pressing thing in my life. Like Alice is actually just off at college, and I didn't have an epic bathroom meltdown today, and that Micah kid didn't almost out my secrets, earning me a tell-all posted on the underground with the other hot gossip. I even silence my phone when the alarm for my 30 minutes of free time goes off. I'm ahead by 10 points, waiting on Dad to play the winner-take-all word I know he's building. When he clears his throat and inches forward on his couch cushion so that his knees touch the scramble board perched on the coffee table. Girls, I want to talk to you about something. His voice is serious. Very undad-like. My stomach instantly retightens. Alice is coming home. I pause with my newly picked tile in the midair. What? Like here? Well, this is her home, he says calmly, like his words didn't explode around me, sucking the oxygen from the room. When? Tomorrow. I thought she had more time, I say. The grip on my stomach has already started its march north towards my throat. She left in January. It's only March. Wasn't it supposed to be 3 months? Well, Dad breathes out slowly. The counselors think she's ready. Did anyone bother to ask if we're ready? Dad continues. And she seems really good on our last visit, didn't she, Mags? Margot nods. Stacy pipes up, her face beaming with an overzealous smile. What wonderful news! This place just hasn't been the same without her. Is she going back to school, I ask? Not yet. Dad flips a Y tile between his thumb and pointer finger. She'll stay here for a while. Well, that pokes a ginormous hole in our Alice is away at college ruse. And how can we not talk about it when she's right here? So what do we tell people, I ask. I think of how Damien talked about Micah today. If people know about Fairview, Alice won't be able to just waltz back into her old life. Dad studies the scramble board like the answer is hiding in the triple word score. He sighs. Let's just tell people that she's taking some time off for a work-study project. That's something college kids do, right? So we should lie about it, Margot asked. It's not a lie, honey. It's more like an omission, I offer. Dad nods. He tousles Margot's crimped hair. Exactly, he says. We do that sometimes to protect the people we love. But trust me, this is going to be a good thing, girls. Alice will be home, and things can go back to normal. Ah, the lies that bind. Margot smiles. Dad's words don't explode for her. She wasn't there when I found Alice, crumpled, on the bathroom floor. She didn't see Dad lift her or hear the tightness in his voice when he called 911. She's too young and too lost in her fantasy world to see what's happening here. Our big sister left because something was wrong with her, something Dad couldn't fix. And now she's coming home. Dad lays out a word that immediately bumps him ahead of me on the scoreboard. But I'm not really here anymore. I'm watching family time from outside my body. Through the glass, I see them laughing and placing tiles. I see me playing my part, smiling when I'm supposed to smile. But inside my head, the worries have slithered in uninvited. That's how it starts, with a thought. A whisper, what if? What if Alice is different now? What if everything's different? As my mind spins, my heart races, I'm suddenly hyper aware of the air moving in and out of my lungs. What if you forget to keep breathing? Dread branches out through my body. My right hand starts to tingle. I shake it out, but the pens and needles won't go. Margot shoves me with her elbow. Earth to Lily, she says. Your turn. I blink back to life. The glass shatters. Dad is staring at me, and so is Stacy. Well, she's staring at my left hand, which is scratching off the scab on my neck. Actually, I really do have a ton to do tonight. I empty my tiles back into the box lid. Dad studies me now. His face is serious. You okay, kiddo? I hoist my heavy backpack up, the weight of it almost crushing me, and I slap on my everything's just great face. The last thing this family needs is one more member losing their grip on reality. I'm fine. Not a lie. Exactly. Just an omission. Because that's what you do for people you love. Alone on my bed, I try to calm my body. Breathe in, breathe out. Just breathe. I do not need a double-header meltdown today. Across the room, Alice's empty bed stares back at me. On the night she left, I meticulously tucked in the corners of her navy blue comforter 16 times. If I can just fix this bed, I thought, maybe Dad will stop looking so scared. Alice's desk is just how she left it, though, a mess of papers and projects, crochet needles from when she made what turned out to be a hideously deformed scarf, recipes from her Top Chef phase, hot pink Post-it notes where Alice would scribble her ideas. She was always trying something new, always living life 110%. Pictures on her desk showed off Alice's big smile, best in the senior class, and even bigger hair. She's standing between Margot and me at our high school graduation, her cap barely holding down her long brown curly hair that always occupied as much space in any room as she did. Big and boisterous and everywhere. Everything from her hair to her smile to her bright red shoes below her grad gown screams Alice. At least the Alice I knew before she left for college. When she showed up on the front porch a few weeks into the semester, stripped of her Alice-ness, Stacy gave her pills from the organic health food store, insisting that her iron and B vitamins were low. Dad said she was going through a phase, that she needed rest. I saw the thin cuts on her arm that she tried to hide, but I kept it to myself. Figured it was another one of Alice's fleeting ideas, like when she went goth for a month. I expected it to pass. I didn't expect the night of the bathroom floor, or the word Dad used in hushed tones on the floor when the Fairview counselors, bipolar. What if Fairview changed her, stole the pieces that made her her? I tried to put Alice and her expedited homecoming out of my head while I bust through my homework in a few hours. Thank you, energy drink nightcap. the black, chalky fingerprints in the corner of my planner, courtesy of my new problematic project partner, keeps pulling my attention? Will everyone treat Alice like they do Micah? Rumors and I heard swirling? Before I turn out the lights, I stand up and I walk the distance between Alice's bed and mine, one foot carefully placed in front of the other. 7 steps. When I was little after Mom died, that was all it took. 7 steps and one flying leap, and I was safe, tucked in next to Alice's side, where the monsters under the bed couldn't get me. The best thing to do, she said, is make friends with the monsters. And somehow they stopped being scary. Alice was like that, brave and smart, with all the answers. I run my fingertips across her perfectly made bed and wonder which version will be coming home tomorrow. The girl who tackled life head on, or the broken girl from the bathroom floor. Back in my own bed, sleep flits just out of my grasp like always. Memories, freeze-framed moments, fill my head circling like snakes biding their time, lunging every so often to take a nip. Me frozen, staring at the blood. Dad carrying her down the stairs. Me running from the classroom today, sitting on the bathroom floor with my list. Micah ignoring the cuckoo calls. I just cover my head with my blanket. Just stop. But my brain doesn't listen. Never does. Across the room, a beam of moonlight illuminates Alice's perfectly made bed through the dark. 7 steps. But where do you go if your sister's gone and the monsters have moved from under the bed to inside your head? 1:20 a.m. You never visited her. 1:40 a.m. She probably hates you. 2 a.m. 2. The one and only Alice at gmail.com. Subject? Sorry, ... Alice, Dad says Fairview has a no cell phone rule. That blows. So I hope you're checking email. Just wanted to say I'm sorry I never made it over there. I've been super busy. I hope you're feeling better. Lily. 2:03 a.m. Conversation moved to trash. Undo. 2:15 a.m. 2. The one and only Alice at gmail.com. Subject. Welcome home. Dear Alice, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. So excited. Love, Lil. 2:20 a.m. Conversation moved to trash. 3 a.m. She's definitely gonna hate you. Chapter 7. The light wakes me before my alarm. It's too bright, too early. Margot snuck into my bed at some point like she's done every night since Alice left. I always wake up with a toe up my nose. In the bathroom mirror, dark circles shadow my bloodshot eyes. I don't even know what time my brain finally shut down last night. I kneeled on the cold floor over a pink-hued section of tile grout. So much for the hours Dad spent in here with a can of Clorox and 100% blood removal mission. I guess even industrial strength solvents can't get rid of everything. On the lip of the bathtub, my razor catches my eye. What if you don't stop her this time either? I grab the razor and I search under the sink and in both of our desks for anything with a blade or a sharp edge or even the slightest bit of skin-cutting ability. I throw all the scissors and toenail clippers and even a pencil sharpener with a tiny blade into an empty shoebox and shove it under my bed. A rumble shakes my floor and I stumble down the stairs to where Stacy, still dressed in her workout clothes from an early morning yoga, is trying to drag Dad's desk across the wooden floor in the office. It's too early for redecorating. My whole body aches. A vice squeezes my head. I'm not redecorating. Stacy pushes her body weight into the back of the wooden desk, which doesn't budge. I'm re-energizing. She puts her hands on her hips and stares at the massive desk that usually has all of Dad's books stacked on it for the lit classes he teaches at the community college. The ancient art of feng shui, she says. She continues as if I've asked. Your sister needs good vibes when she comes home. We all do. And the first step is opening up the home's natural energy potential and things like this. She points to the desk. Needs to be in command positions. There's no way Stacy is moving that sucker alone, so I help her reposition the behemoth into a far corner, which is apparently the perfect location because it's equidistant from both walls and facing the entry door, aka the primary energy portal. I don't have the heart to tell her that she's rearranging desk chairs on the Titanic. In the kitchen, Margot's slurping cereal while Dad throws things into a box on the island. You feng shuiing too, I ask. Just some overdue cleaning, he says, tossing an aspirin bottle into the box. It lands on a pile of other meds. Think Alice will like my new look, he says, in a clear attempt to change the topic from the contents of the box. Dad rubs his fingers down his beard he's grown out since Stacy said his facial hair is distinguished. He's posing like a supermodel, cracking Margot up, who doesn't seem to notice or care that Dad's quote-unquote cleaning is actually making sure Alice doesn't down a fistful of aspirin when she gets home. When Margot runs to get her backpack, Dad stops posing to contemplate the set of knives on the counter like he's trying to solve one of his Sunday morning crosswords. He rubs the back of his neck while he stares at it. Dad, I ask, you good? Fine, he said, absent-mindedly before picking up the whole set and plunking it into the box. Before English class starts, my mind is on Alice when it should be on coming up with a killer poem for this project. A vague ache wraps around my head, so I bunch up my hoodie on my desk and rest, only to jerk awake from a particular vivid flash of Alice with deep red slices up her arms. What if this is how it started for her? Sleepless nights and incessant thoughts, heart-racing episodes on the bathroom floors. Sam stops by my desk. I feel it is my responsibility, nay, my duty, to tell you that you look like shit. I'm aware, but thanks. Rough night? You could say that. Unspoken. Oh, and my brain is broken. Alice is coming home, I whisper. What if? I stop, unable to articulate the scenario in my head, the one where I don't find her in time, the one where the blade goes too deep. Sam gives my hand a squeeze as the bell rings. Hey, she whispers, calm and sure like always, it's gonna work out. To start today's Writer and Artist United session, Friedman delivers an impassionate diatribe on the power of art to transform. Expose the dark places to light. He gestures wildly as he talks. The parts that scare you most, that's where the artist is born. For fear comes from the mind, and art comes from the heart. Micah's desk is butted up against mine, but we're working separately, unlike the other partners who are deep into brainstorming, talking loudly and excitedly about their projects. Micah is drawing in a sketch pad, her black hair falling into her eyes. Her sunglasses are bright pink to match his socks, which features watermelons. I swear this kid is asking for attention, and not the good kind. His hair dances with the rhythm of his hands holding a pen instead of charcoal this time. Whatever he's working on comes so effortlessly, I'm jealous. I stare at the blank page in my notebook. Normally, my poems kind of pour out, fully formed, as if they're already existed in some ethereal space, and I'm just the conduit, the hand that holds the pen, but my wellspring of creativity seems to have a dry spell since Alice left. The only words that I can conjure are the ones I make up on Logo Lily. Micah's staring at me. What? I ask. Just feeling sorry for that pencil. He points to my mouth where I inadvertently chomped my pencil almost to bits. I dust the shavings off the desk. I guess I zoned out for a minute, I say, as if to explain the fact that I've just wood chippered my Tigerona number 2. Yeah, you were going full beaver over there. He nods to my blank page. Writer's block? No. Liar. He thumbs the corner of my notebook, flipping the empty pages. Clearly, he searches my face just like he did yesterday. Could this have anything to do with our mutual friend coming home? My heart stops. You know about that, I whisper. He nods. Emailed me last night. Did she say anything else? Like, is she excited? Nervous? Unspoken. Fixed? Micah leaned back, a slight smirk on his face. Those sound like excellent questions for Alice, he says, clearly enjoying that he knows something I don't. I want to push for more, but Damien is watching us from across the room, ready to pounce on any opportunity to tease me for being buddy-buddy with maniac Micah. I lean back, stifling all the questions that I want to ask about Alice as I return to my bank page, trying to ignore the pang of guilt, or maybe jealousy, that strikes me right in the breastbone. This random boy knows more about your sister than you do. Thankfully, Gifford summons me to her desk before I end up on the bathroom floor again. She sticks a pencil into that red frizz that is her hair. She already has 3 in there. I picture her shaking her head out at night, emptying office supplies onto the floor. What Gifford lacks in self-awareness, she more than makes up for in enthusiasm. She's taken an interest in my writing since freshman year, when I was one of only 3 students who showed up for her creative writing club. Lily dear, she starts, I'm not broadcasting this to everybody, but there's a lot more to this project than just a grade. She tells me the details, how Ridgeline will sponsor one team for a summer art and writing workshop at UC Berkeley, all expenses paid. How attendees will meet all the department heads and get a leg up on the competition for fall admissions. She keeps talking, but my brain is stuck. All the worries about Alice give way only to one thought: Berkeley. Gifford, with her lipstick teeth and pencil holder hair, has given me the answer I didn't even know I needed. I can't control which version of Alice comes home from rehab, but I can control this. I can win. And once I'm at Berkeley, whatever is wrong with me, the list in the back of my planner will be ancient history, as long as I keep moving. Whatever got Alice can't get me too. And Margot won't lose another sister to the monsters in her head, and Dad won't have to send another daughter off for cerebral repair. I can't stop my family and myself from unraveling. I can stop my family and myself from unraveling. You know I'm a fan of your poems, and I think you have a real shot here, but for this contest, we want something raw, something real, something that tells us who you are. She smiles wide, a pink lipstick smudge on her left incisor. Can you dig deep? Yes, 1,000,000 times, yes. To get into Berkeley, I can do anything. Definitely, I say, holding my notebook to my chest. I practically float back to my desk. Micah, however, is less than wowed. So, he shrugs when I tell him, like I've just told him the hot lunch today is chicken nuggets and not this one project that can determine the entire trajectory of our lives. So it's my dream school. We have to win. He taps his pencil on his sketchbook and cocks his scarred eyebrow upward. Alice told me about this, he says. About what? He waves the point of his pen in a circle in my direction. This, how you are. How exactly am I? You know, gotta be the best, get the best grades, win all the races. Alice said that? I mean, she talked about me? What else did she tell him? Yeah, sometimes between smoking weed and getting body piercings in unspeakable places, we do normal kid things like talk and stuff. He leans forward like we're sharing a secret, and she told me all about you. The way he said it made my heart speed up, but I feigned annoyance rather than panic. Let's not pretend like you know me. Micah smirks. Oh, I think I've got you pegged, little Larkin. Lily. Right, he says, directing his pen at me again. You were the kid who had a coloring book, and every single page was perfect. You always drew inside the lines. I open my mouth to protest, but he cuts me off. No, wait, scratch that. It's even worse, isn't it? You were the kid who re-outlined the drawings right before you colored them in. I'm right, aren't I? I'm totally right. A lot of kids do that. Right. His eyes are dancing with his smile now. I can't help noticing that he has little gold flecks in his brown iris. Okay, I say, If we're pretending like we know each other, then you were totally the kid who scribbled with no regard for the lines, but your parents stuck it up on the fridge anyway and declared it a masterpiece. He shakes his head. First of all, my dad died when I was 7, so no plural parents here. And second of all, I'm a staunch opponent of coloring books. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Well, how would you? Few people share my particular rage about coloring books. No, I mean about your dad. I know what you meant, he said dismissively. But seriously, we hand kids pictures of a duck or a cow and tell them this is the only way a duck or a cow can look, so they never venture outside of the lines. And then we wonder why we're raising a generation of drones. Don't even try to convince me otherwise. Wouldn't dream of it, I'm smiling, and not even sure why except that. The possibility of a clear path to Berkeley almost has me giddy, and Mike is smiling at me in this no bullshit way. And besides, how many high school boys get passionate about coloring books? It's almost endearing. Almost. Hot takes on coloring books aside. I say, the fact remains I need to win this, and I look at my blank page, nothing. Micah studies me again, a look on his face like we're sharing a secret I'm not yet in on. I could help you, seeing as we are partners and all. I lean back and fold my arms. I didn't think Micah was even paying attention to this project. You write poetry? Not a word, but I may have some ideas on unblocking you, rediscovering your artistic mojo. I roll my eyes. Should have known he wasn't actually taking this seriously. Again, not blocked. My mojo is just fine. The bell rings and I pick up my notebook as I stand. The blank pages scream at me. But since we are partners and all, go ahead, tell me these ideas. He wags his finger at me, his smile shooting an eyebrow upward. Nice try, but I was specifically told to work on my own. It was an official Lily Larkin rule, I believe. He closes up his sketchbook when I lean over to sneak a peek and holds it to his chest as he stands up. Unless, of course, you've decided you need my help. We stand in silence for a few awkward seconds, waiting each other out. You're going to make me beg, aren't you, I say. I'm very patient. I wave Sam ahead when she stops to wait for me for practice. My mind wages a mini war with itself. In this corner, lifetime champion and all-around fun buster. Doubts. You know what they say about him. Certifiable. And in this corner, newcomer but serious contender. Desperation. You need this win. Your family needs this win. He might be your only chance. Fine. Will you please, all-knowing and wise art guru, help me rediscover my muse? Yes. He picks up my hand, draws a sketch of a Winnie the Pooh bear on my palm, and scribbles a note in the corner of my notebook. At 100 Acre Wood, come find me. He disappears into the crowded hallway, his neon pink socks shining from a sea of khaki and denim. He is so weird, Callie says, flipping my hand over to see what Micah drew. I'm just glad I didn't get stuck with him. I ignore her and text Sam on my way to the locker room. Me, you were right. Sam, I'm sure it's true, but why? Me, everything is going to work out. Sam, and this change of heart thanks to... Me, the doors of UC freaking Berkeley swinging wide open. Sam, get out. Me, I will not. Sam, what do you have to do? Me, when? I float through track practice. I even shave a half second off my 400 meter. Coach pats me on the back and tells me he knew I'd get my groove back. I take a cool down lap next to Sam, who's telling me all about how her spotlight solo piece next month could land her the coveted first violin spot. I would be concert master, which is like the gold star for college apps, she says as we run. Are you going to Berkeley? It's happening. And you going to Berkeley? It's happening, Lil. Sam's infectious positivity and the promise of this English contest keeps me smiling all the way around the track, all the way home, until I walk through my door. A blue duffel bag sits in the front hallway. Alice is home.